to some more news that's coming our way. I'm going to request our guests to stay on with us as we reflect on information that we're tracking very closely from Indonesia. Well, the deadly flooding that has killed hundreds in Indonesia was largely the result of monsoon rains and a rare tropical storm. Days of heavy monsoon rains inundated vast areas, leaving thousands stranded and many clinging to rooftops waiting for help. Indonesia has been the worst affected by natural disaster, fury of which worsened with Cyclone Senyar impacting the island country. In fact, in breaking news that we're tracking very closely, 753 people have been killed amid severe floods and landslides caused by Cyclone Senyar in Indonesia. Rescue operations are ongoing in the affected country, with emergency crews racing to reach survivors and recover more bodies. Let's quickly rope in our guests once again. Brigadier Vinod Datta, I'd like to rope you in over here. We're of course looking at the devastation in Indonesia, where the death toll presently stands at 753. What do you essentially make of the situation on the ground?
If you see Indonesia, it is also one of the worst impacted countries. If you see in tsunami also, within minutes, lakhs of people died. So Indonesia, and it also falls in the ring of fire. Now coming back to Chennai, since I was posted there and I have seen tsunami operations quite closely, the problem gets compounded because Chennai gets winter rains, and now this cyclonic rains is going to further create challenges for the people who are providing relief, because what you have already mentioned, that in Punnamali and Nelkundram areas, because of the heavy traffic and for the asphalt, you see, water is the biggest enemy. And the traffic which is, once the water recedes, the traffic which is going to be there, the sustained traffic, that is also going to create a lot of problems. Another thing is the medical teams have already been pressed into service. Once the water recedes, then if you recall Chennai floods of 2016, there were a lot of snake bite cases. Some of our officers, they became, victims of snake bite cases, but knowing the Indian Army, they never gave up. And this is what I'm going to tell people, that once water recedes, then the problems are going to be further, they will come up and people have to brave it. Thirdly, since it is a coastal area, the water table is very low. And this water, which is contaminated water, is going to impact the wells and the subsoil water. So the water purification, people have to be very cautious while taking. So waterborne diseases, the vectors which are going to be there, that is also going to pose a problem for the people there. But the medical teams, the surgical teams, the Indian Army teams, NDRF, and various other agencies, I'm sure the Tamil Nadu Disaster Management Authority have also pressed into their service, because when Chennai floods were there in 2016, Minambakam was totally submerged. So we were operating from Arkonam, where we had an NDRF battalion, and that was the only aerodrome or a heliport which was available, and we had placed a large number of our helicopters there, and the entire operations was being monitored from there. I'm sure the weather will hold, and the relief will reach to the people. People have to be just calm. They have to remain calm, cool, and collected. And because the authorities have already pressed in whatever best resources they have. So in Sri Lanka, we have already given the best of our relief, whether it is in terms of kind or our services, whether medical or otherwise.
All right, we in fact have some more breaking news coming in. Devastating visuals are coming in from Indonesia. Netizens have shared a video of the moment when a flash flood from Lebuk, Padang city, West Sumatra, rapidly and forcefully inundated homes and roads. The residents could be heard crying out as muddy water entered and flooded their homes. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Naveen Bhatnagar. Sir, I'd like to understand from you. We're of course now talking about Indonesia and the impact that Cyclone Senyar has had over there, where we're understanding that 753 people have lost their lives. How are you looking at the floods and the cyclone that's taking place in Indonesia?
Yeah, because it shows that they have not taken pain for the relief and all these things previously, because it's not 1 or 2 days exercise. Every time, every country who is having such type of threats, so they should remain prepared for this purpose. And already we have instructed them, not this time. Already we have instructed well in advance to all the countries like that, that be prepared for such devastating situations, and this super cyclone also. And our honorable PM, he is the chairman of NDMA, and he is having the control over these SAARC countries. And time and again, he is giving instructions not only to us, to all the countries, as well as in our Indian coastal area also. And accordingly, we have done lot of exercise, and lot of work was done by us, and we have provided technology, equipments, food, relief, and all these things. I don't know where they failed, but anyhow, it's not the time for criticism. It's the time to help them, and accordingly we are helping them. And a lot of doctors, medical team, our dog squad, our rescue operators with all the latest equipments, we have approached to save the life of the people, and already our people are saving the life. And I hope that now situation is gradually retreating, and people, now the weather will cooperate, and I hope that when the weather will come down, immediately the rescue operation and relief and all these things will start, and I hope that no further human loss will be there. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have some more breaking news coming in a devastating visual coming in from Indonesia. Houses have been completely destroyed, trees uprooted and roads washed away. These visuals are of the aftermath of the tragic floods that hit Indonesia due to Cyclone Senyar. And as you can see on your screens, this is the aftermath of the cyclone. You can see those huts that have been completely dismantled. There's nothing but muddy water over there. What one could of course have imagined it to be a beautiful city with colors, with people there on the streets, is now turned into this devastating sight where of course all we see is wood and muddy water on the grounds. Let me quickly get a last word from KV Lakshmana, who's been very patient with us on the broadcast. So, when we talk about, although they're unrelated to each other, we're looking at the devastation that's taken place in Sri Lanka. You've also, of course, spoken about how in Tamil Nadu people were extremely active. There was an active initiative that was taken to make sure that there was a proper plan of action. Do you think a similar course of action has not taken place in Indonesia? Therefore, we are seeing such large amounts of collateral damage.
Oh, of course, it is as clear as the sun, like Dr. Bhatnagar Saab has just mentioned. But again, it's not the time for us to be criticizing somebody, but the time to be helping them to the best possible by us, which we have been doing. And see, it is here that the words of Brigadier Dattaji, when he mentioned about climate change, I mean, that is not something in the future, it's already there. So, along with our standard operating procedure, disaster management systems, early warnings, we have to also consider and think of how to mitigate the climate change that is upon us. Unfortunately, in some recent international developments, lead us to fear about how serious the world is going to be about climate change, given the changes that some countries like US are proposing in this direction.